So when someone uses AI to look for answers, whether it's ChatGPT or they're using the AI mode from Google, how does that AI system actually decide what answers to show?
Sure. Well, I mean, it's really complex, but like one concept they use is fan out queries. So in a traditional like Google search, you might do a search for audiologist near me or something like that. If you were to do that on the AI side, it's going to do audiologist near me, and then it's going to try and grab a bunch of other uh, a bunch of other queries that it thinks are related, and it's going to do queries about all those, grab the information, and then kind of amalgamate it all, right? So it's important to understand that like the content is no longer focused on just a single key term like it used to be for those particular engines. It's more of a broad approach, right? They're trying to understand the AI is trying to understand the full process of or effectively try and compensate for potential future interests or lateral interests of the individual who's searching as well, in addition to just that term. So
Yeah, and there's a lot of personalization too that I think gets missed in a lot of these different, platform reviews with what they're showing, how they're positioning the information. It's learning about you so much throughout all of your searches. If you type in something in ChatGPT, for example, and I type in something in ChatGPT, we probably have very different outputs just because of how we've used it in the past.
hmm yeah, personalization is a big deal, and um, they even have some new developments on that front. Um, but even more so, I talked about that fan out query. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Beyond that, by and large, the data it's collecting is all based off of, as I've said before, traditional search engine ranking factors, right? So it may be doing all those queries and then kind of bringing it all together and then creating kind of a custom layout for it. But what it's bringing together and how it's laying it out is all dependent on those different ranking factors, such as your Google reviews, for instance, if we're talking about Google AI mode or even traditional Google search still. So it's very important to have that foundation. So because that's going to determine what how you still show up.
Yeah, they're still using all the local citations, just like Google does. They're still using those reviews, and it's fresh reviews too. It's
hmm
not just the number of reviews and having the most. It's consistently getting reviews over and over so that you have fresh ones with, a high rating, of course. You don't want to have a low
Yes.
rated practice.
I was
That's
going to
not
say
a good idea
sentiment's important.
either.
Yeah, exactly.
So, is there anything else that you're finding that the AI platforms seem to be giving a preference for in terms of your traditional SEO practices?
Well, I mean, in terms of a preference, I mean, I think reviews have become a little bit more important than they used to. And I think that trend has occurred for a long time. So I think it's just kind of a natural progression. But the branding has become a bit more important, especially after the Google leaks from last year, when we all became made completely aware of some of the ranking factors that Google flat out lied and told us weren't ranking factors for a long time. Um, one of those being mentions of your brand. So traditionally, there's kind of two different ways they track that, right? You've got backlinks, which are links from other websites to your website, and there are a lot of associated factors with those links too. They have to be reputable, they have to be relevant, but they also pay attention to mentions of your brand. They understand who you are. So when your brand is mentioned on, let's say, a newspaper site, that's considered a thumbs up for you, right? Um, so that's a really big one, for sure.
Yeah, and it's an entity, right? So the way that your brand is, how it's positioned, not just on your website, not just what you say on your website, but everywhere else across, the web.